An old DWRG review for Full Circle, Ever Decreasing Full Circles by Andrew Wixon, published on the 8th of the 4th, 02. I'm finding it unusually difficult to assemble my thoughts on Full Circle preparatory to reviewing it. This is probably because it is the quintessential Season 18 story, and any review of its strengths and weaknesses risks turning it into a review of the season in general. Why Full Circle is the most representative story? Well, Leisure Hive and State of Decay are both holdovers from previous eras. Meglos 2 is a deliberate attempt at an old-fashioned story. Warrior's Gate was intentionally experimental, and the final two stories are inextricably bound up with the setting up of the next season. In addition to this, Full Circle kicks off the knackered spaceship trilogy and features the obligatory bid-meet obsession of science and also Adric. Despite the last thing, it manages to be one of the best 2 or 3 stories of the season. It clearly knows what it's supposed to be about, cyclic patterns both of society and evolution, has some pretty fair monsters in the Marshmen, solid performances from the adult cast at least, and is directed to the hilt by Peter Grimwade, probably the best director of early 80s Who. There are many of those lovely little moments that elevate a story from good to great, the entirely gratuitous but to a 7-year-old terrifying, spiders, the rise of the Marshmen, the Doctor's verbal assault on the Deciders, even the overuse and demystification of the TARDIS, a J&T trademark, seems fairly plausible, and the thematic score is annoyingly catchy. Smith writes for the incumbent regulars very well, but having said that, K9 and Romana don't have any dialogue for half the story. K9 is great while he's in the story, though endearing but not too twee, zipping around the swamp to his own theme tune. Shame on J&T for insisting he be written out of the second half in such a contrived manner. But well, there are problems here. The start of the story has most of the memorable bits in it, so that successive episodes seem increasingly flat. Not unheard of in stories of all the location filming in the first half. The really dramatic bits near the end, either happen off camera or are purely intellectual, the revelation about the Starliner community. The story does seem to take a Lamarckian view of evolution, which is a bit odd, and assumes you know the theory too. And well, Adric has the debut he deserves, shrill and strident from the start. I'd have killed him off and taken Varsh along instead. Richard Willis is a much better actor. On the whole, though, a very intelligent, well put together story, and the first real river fruits of J&T policy of retooling the series as a face value SF drama.